Hi, I'm Rose Lambert, spiritual mystic alchemist. I'm here to guide you out of any struggles and help you find your higher self to change your thoughts from negative to positive. No more struggling. Learn to flow with positive vibes. Let's create your dream life. Change your mind, change your life.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spiritual Mystic Alchemist Show. I'm Rose Lambert, your host for the show. Today, I'm very excited. I have my best friend, soul sister, I find after many lives. We reconnected, Silly Bernard, with me. And we're going to talk about light workers, star seeds, and our mission in this world, and how we could make a difference in this world all together and united. And please don't go anywhere, and please press subscribe button and stay tuned with us. And my sister, soul sister, Sylvie Bernard, with me.
Hi.
Look, where's the cat?
I'm here. Hi, Rose. Happy to be with you on the show. Looking forwad to it.
And how was your, I know you went through some hard times.
Mm-hmm. I did. But, I know there are greater things that we don't even know that's going on. So it was sad. I just recently lost my daughter. She passed. But life goes on, and I know she wants me to be happy, so here we are.
Yeah, and she lost her daughter very recently, but knowing the energy, knowing the knowledge she has, it's dealing with, it's never losing a child is easy, but knowing some of the things she does know, it's helpful. Maybe she will share, it's like, because in the spiritual world, like what we know, it's like, it's just not like, you're born and you die, right?
Absolutely, Rose, and I know that we hadn't discussed this, but I think it's a very good topic because it's only 2 weeks ago since my daughter passed. I am devastated. The pain will always be there. But I also know that she's gone to a better place. My belief system has helped me so much. And if I can share that with people, I would love to do that. Yeah.
Please,
Yeah.
it's like, because, a lot of people out there who lose a loved one and devastated, and because it's unknown for a lot of people. And you have an insight because you're a light worker, you're a starseed, you're an enlightened person.
It helped. I mean, it never takes away the pain. We're still here in this dimension, but it's helped me, my belief system, to know. I was with her just shortly before she passed. I was talking to her. I was telling her all the things that where she was going to go, all the people that she would meet, and actually a little tear came down her face. So I know I feel very strongly that she helped me. Can I prove this? Absolutely no. But I've had so much validation, so that's why I'm able to sit here right now, 2 weeks later, to be on this show with you.
It's like, can you explain to people, as an awakened person, what we believe? And, it's like,
Okay.
I know, but I know what it is, but, can you explain to our viewers?
Well, yes, I can, as best I can. I feel that we actually never die. I've had so much validation through my story that I have mentioned a little bit about it. Over the years, I've had a lot to show me that there is so much more. Things that we'd pass off as coincidence, I don't believe anymore is coincidence. I'm being guided, I'm being helped. I absolutely know that. How am I able to sit here now, talk to my daughter when she was dying without that? Yes, we're here in this dimension, but she was going to a much better place. I feel it with everything. I can't prove it, but I can only prove what's happened to me. And I've had so many things happen to me that anybody that's listening to this show right now and has had a terrible tragedy like that. Well, I say tragedy, it's sad. Of course, it's a tragedy in this dimension, but just know that they're going to a better place. I feel it, everything that I believe. I feel that I'm being helped completely. I lost, in this last year, I have lost 4 people that were very, very close to me. All of a sudden, they just departed. And I'm still, I don't believe that they want me to be unhappy. I feel the pain. I have to go through that pain. But I'm okay. I'm okay. And I
then,
want people to
yeah,
be okay.
And then also, like, we come to this world to do whatever, you know, like we come here with the contract, the things we have to do, and then we are, when our time is, you know, for some reason, sometimes we want to go back earlier, and sometimes, like in, you know, your daughter's situation, maybe she wanted to go back earlier. And we understand that, and sometimes we want to return back earlier, and we reincarnate back again with the soul contracts, and we will come back. And a lot of people, I know in my experience too, I've seen it, you know, like sometimes the world becomes too tough, too harsh, too much to handle.
I totally agree with that, because I believe, obviously, in reincarnation. I believe that we talk about our life that we're going to have in this particular life, but it doesn't always follow exactly the way that we would want it. We go through our karma, which is of our choice. But I believe she was not that unhappy. It was hard to tell, but when I talked about her and when she was in hospice, she said to me, I won't be here through the winter months. I'm glad that it's summer now, that I can appreciate the sun. And we choose our life.
Right.
And I think we have help. I mean, I've learned a lot through the years of what's happening. And she was at peace. She knew she was passing. She was at peace, Rose. She was at peace because I believe that a lot of people were helping, including myself, to tell her that she was going to a wonderful place. I can't prove any of this. I can just validate what's happened to me. And it's been amazing.
She is in a better place.
She's in a better place.
She's better in place.
Yes.
And thank you for...
I just want to help people that may be going through a very similar situation.
Yeah, and it's because we will be reincarnating, and sometime, you know, sometime it's the best thing. It's like, you know, it's like if we were, you know, aligned, you know, like with the timely death. Like timely death is like, you know, the parents goes first and child goes later, but sometimes untimely things happens, and unfortunately, and in that hard times, and we got to understand there is always different explanations, different stories behind the stories, and there is a lot more than we could understand in this world. There's a different dimensions, there's different understanding.
Absolutely.
There's so much more to explain, and I experience a lot of things, and I don't even have language and ability to try to explain those things. All I could say is if one thing happened, there's 1,000 different way of explaining why that happened. You know, it's the best way to just, you know, just accept and see the good and see the positiveness of even from the hardest thing, because positiveness from the death, what you could see, it's like we're all gonna die. So maybe she went earlier, but maybe she's just returned home earlier, you know?
I totally believe that. And I mean, yes, we should not lose our children first.
No, right.
But we all have a choice in this. We have a free will here. Right. And it was her time. I truly believe that, because she knew she was dying. It's not like she she accepted it the best that she could at that point, which made me even believe more that that she was understanding more, because over the years I've learned so much about this. I didn't know I was going to be able to put it into kind of practice myself, to be able to go through this. It's hard because we're here, and I'm not going to say that it's easy. It's not.
Right.
It's terrible. However, when you have a stronger faith, be whatever your faith is, mine is definitely the spiritual side of this, that I can cope. I can cope. And my wish is to help other people, you know, too.
You are helping people and seeing you strong, seeing you, sharing your stories. It's helping.
And it's strange because we had no idea we were even going to talk about this, right?
I know.
Yeah, it just happened. Yes.
We didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't plan this. It
no,
just
we
happened.
did not. We did not. And I think they take over too. That's what I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
We both light workers, Starseed, Indigo Child. And this call out to Starseeds, light workers out there. We're older than most of you out there. The generation experiencing this. And we are here for reason. Ascension happening and world moving from third to fifth dimension. And we know, it's like most of you who's star seeds and light workers, and you know in your awakening, and you're getting some of the messages. And I wanted to, on this show, I wanted to reach out. This is my 8th show. I just started this new because it was my calling. Otherwise, I am not the type of person who will go out to social media and stuff like that. I was a private person, but it was my calling, and I'm trying to do best I can to reach out and pass on, what my spirit guides are telling me. What my spirit guides are.
Just not to interrupt you, I don't like to do that, but we're on the right track, Rose.
Right.
Absolutely, you're doing an amazing job. I know that you're not that familiar with talking to an audience like this, but I want to congratulate you so much for coming out with all that you have done. It takes courage, it takes strength, and you've achieved that. You have absolutely achieved that, okay? I know we're good friends, but I'm saying this from my heart. So you're doing great.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Thank you. I would like to invite you, light workers, star seeds, to unite and make your stories known. Write to me, call me, text me, reach out to me. And because when I was going through my awakening, I couldn't find a place I could get, I could share what's going on, and I couldn't get, but there's some stuff I find it was helpful. But this show is for light workers, star seeds, to come on and share their stories, and also topics to help them to grow in their awakening, and whatever they want to know, and whatever we could do together. When we're united, we are big power. And it's like when we just unite all together, united, consciousness. My English is not that great, but what, our thoughts, put it together, what we create, that makes the world go around, and all the change, new world order. That's everybody's consciousness, everybody's united thoughts goes in there. It's a.
Can I interrupt?
Yes, come in.
What it does is when we all come together as a light worker, or whatever you feel you want to call it, we raise the vibrational energy, and that's really important. As you raise your vibrational energy, and the way I feel that we should do this, and I never like to tell anybody to do anything, but I know what I feel is by being very positive, even though it's really difficult. it raises, because the universe accepts anything, negativity or positivity, but we need to come together, especially now with the world as the way it is. And if we can send out positive vibrations, I know it sounds very cliche, but we need to send out positive vibrations, whatever is going on. We're having a heat wave in London. I'm from London. I have never, ever seen the temperature at 100 and something degrees. But instead of saying, oh my God, this is terrible, the world is ending, we have to sort of send positive vibrations for what's happening. Maybe we can change it and lower the heat somehow.
Collective, I was looking for
Right.
the word,
Collective.
consciousness, thoughts all together. When we all together put our mind to it, and when we wish something, we could shift the world to a different direction. We could make everything possible. We could stop the wars. We could go into a golden age. We could do miracles in the world. So we need to unite. And I know I'm seeing things, let's unite, let's unite. This is also, my show is Mikasa Sukasa. It's like my home, your home. And I'm opening my show to you guys, all the light workers, star seeds out there. Come join me. Bring your story, bring your thoughts, and let's share it, let's discuss it, and let's unite with our thoughts, with our stories, and let's pray and work on same goals. And when we united, we could make everything impossible to possible. Let's turn those impossible to possible. Because, you know, how you think some of the people before us ascended from this world and left us, like Sumerians and people who had pyramids in Egypt, and you know, it's like they ascended, and maybe they are in galaxies and different dimensions right now and having a different, how they did that by uniting and, you know, collective consciousness, uniting and working on exactly same goal. So we have to work on and pray on, think and focus, send our energies towards of the same goals. And in order to do that, we have to unite and we have to communicate. We have to know one another. And when we're all separated, you know, in the different corners of the world, and you know, we're not that powerful. When we united, we are so much more powerful. And also, you know, some of the topics, you know, it's like in awakening happens, like for example, you know, when I was awakening, it happened to me, you know, like us versus against them, you know, it's like light versus against dark happens. And that also I want to talk about on this show. That's part of awakening. It happened to me too. You need to figure out there's a dark in this world. It happens. But when you move forward, you realize dark has to be in this world. We have to all exist, coexist.
Can I just interrupt a little bit? Because
Yeah.
we have, as far as I see it, we have to have balance.
Right.
Without balance, we're not going to go forward. If everything was all white, we wouldn't know what black was. So
Right.
it's always a balance, and
Right.
and we have to take that path towards a balance.
Right. And so it's like, you know, some of us now, some of the light workers that I'm seeing on the social media, they're talking about, oh, these elites are trying to control us, and or, you know, running the world, and, you know, we're going to fight the dark with the light. I have a message for you. Don't waste your energy, because when you keep growing, when you keep learning, when you keep moving forward, eventually you're going to learn. We are negative and positive. We are energy. And in order to be in this world, we have to be, has to be negative, has to be positive. And we're always going to be, you know, kind of, there's going to be a dark and we're going to fight. We're going to fight, but we cannot remove it. There's no way of totally removing it. So, like there is no, we could exist without removing the dark, and we could coexist. And what we could do is, best thing we could do, rise our positive energy, and that's actually much more stronger. Like this is the thing, okay? The fighting the dark, you could fight the dark if you carry more positive energies instead of having fear, because fear and victim mentality, if you started thinking, oh, there's a dark forces, how are we going to win this, and we are a victim, then you're going into a negative and your vibrations will go down. So instead of that, if you could start thinking, we're going to coexist, there's always going to be, and then with my decisions around the world, with the smart choices and whatever I sport, what's happening around me, I could make a difference. That's how we're going to win this war. Yes, it is a war against the dark and light, but we cannot feel like we're victim, and it's like we cannot just totally focus on that and be negative about it. And we could start thinking what we could do and what we could focus as positively, and we could increase our positive vibes.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And as far as the fear goes, that's our worst enemy. Fear creates fear. And if I can't say this completely, but I am not that fearful of many things, because if I am, it's going to bring the negativity to me. So I completely agree with what you just said.
It's like more or less going back to Christ consciousness, how Christ lived his life. It's like I think what's going to save this world is, it's like if we move up to like helping people. Also, it's like light workers in this world to help others, serving. We here to serve others and help others. So if we could help them to understand and serve the people, to be in Christ consciousness, and also we have to be ourselves in Christ consciousness, and seeing good in people, and also getting to know our own self,
Yeah, I agree. And also, which if you may want to touch on, is that I believe that a lot of people that are coming in, souls that are coming in now into this incarnation, are to help us as a collective here, to help us see and change what is going on here. And they're coming in for that very purpose.
Right.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
A lot of people, like a lot of children are, I think, born right now. It's like they're all crystal children. They're all like...
they're coming in for a specific purpose, definitely.
And they don't have like old karmas, and they're brand new souls.
Because they've evaluated the situation. They're actually signing up to come in at this particular time. This is a great time to be on Earth. We may not see that,
right,
but I truly believe it, because we have the opportunity now to change things the best that we can.
Absolutely.
But fear, no fear. No
right.
fear.
And anytime you feel like fearing, like something makes you fearful, it could be your finances, talk yourself out of it. And you could always give yourself option. That's what I do. I say it's like, sometimes fear comes to me. I could say it's like, well, if this cannot happen, it's like, and I can't pay this, I can't do that. And I say, well, worst case, what happened? And I find myself something to do, so I could be still happy,
Exactly.
It's like in worst case of it. And, that's like worst case of worst. And I'm thinking, it's like I say, okay, I am in United States and I worked here. And if everything failed, couldn't do anything. You know, it's like when I retired from my Social Security, I will take that, and I born in Turkey, and I go over there to some nursing home, and I will be fine because the money here, there is so much more money over there. It's like, you know, I could afford a much better nursing home over there. So then I become fearless. You know, find something to make you fearless because it's testing us. You know, there is always something, you know, that fear comes to us, testing us. You know, I don't give up. Like whenever that fear comes and tests me, you know, like I don't know if you call devil, whatever is coming and testing. And I am like, you know, like, okay, you know, worst case of 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 worst, I could do this. And at one point I said, even the worst case of worst, if I'm homeless, I will be still happy. I will pick a place, I could be on the beach. And if I'm alive, I will be still happy. You know, I mean, I didn't give up. You know, those when the fears were coming to me, I don't give up. Don't give up. Don't be fearful. And when that fear knocks on your door, and just try to see the best, you know, just breathing, being alive is the best thing.
I completely agree, and I mean, I'm not talking many situations that I can relate to, and that in my past of when I could have just completely given up, but I won't go into it all. But I have experienced a lot of that. I always somehow put a smile on my face. Laughter, we were just talking about that. Laughter is great. If you can make a joke about your situation, because it raises the vibrational energy. And as far as I see it, we need to raise vibrational energy. And that then you then go forward and you meet the people in your life that are on that energy. So they're not as fearful. We're not there. We gradually go higher and higher. But every time, as long as we're aware of that, which I am, the people that we're meant to meet at that particular time when we've raised our energy are going to be there.
Right.
I can talk from experience. I mean, I could tell you one story after another, as you know, that this has happened to me. I can't prove it. None of this we can prove, but I feel it. I feel it. Okay.
And then also one more, because I wanted to I'm sure it happens to a lot of light workers. And so many of us, when we're going through our awakening, we just give up money. We hate money. And we think money is the evil. We don't want money and positions. I did it. I mean, when in my awakening, I did it too. It's like I thought money was the evil of all. And I got rid of all of my belongings. You know, it's like my furniture, my clothes, and unbelievable amount of clothes I got rid of. I was like going down to, like, I was thinking I'm going to live like a monk. No, you. And
No,
then yeah.
I can relate too, because when I came to this country, I came with nothing, from having absolutely everything. I gave up everything. It wasn't necessarily my choice, but it was taken from me. However, today, many, many years later, because I'm a lot older, I see that we deserve to have a good life. Yes, do it in a way that we're not hurting other people, but there is nothing wrong. I have art that I would love to be selling. I don't know what price I should put on it. But because of what's happened to me and how it happened, I should put a price on it. It's hard, but we deserve, okay?
Oh, by the way, these artwork behind her and behind me, it's done by Sally. And she never did art until she had her spiritual awakening. And with her spiritual awakening, she started having this spirits telling her, you know, you gotta paint. And she started with crayons. And
yeah, I actually got a message the first night. I had never painted anything in my life. Well, we're going back about 16 years. And I got a message in, quote, a dream. And I was told by someone to go and get some crayons and start to draw. Well, 16 years later, I have like 150 paintings. I have never had a lesson. I follow my gut. I do not know what I'm painting, but this is just a small example of what happens.
Yeah, she has a lot of beautiful paintings, and these are beautiful art. And also, she has a book called Muzina, and also soon she will have a movie,
Hopefully.
and it's in work in progress. And well, her life is very interesting.
But all this, the message here for me to, if I may, to just say is try and remain positive. It's not easy. It's very difficult. I had many, many life situations that I could have just said, I'm done, I'm done. However, something was pushing me. And then I did have what we would call, I guess, a spiritual awakening 16 years ago. And my life today, with the messages, the validations, as you know, is just amazing. This is my message. Anything is possible. So I'm just happy to be sitting here with you, Rose, that we're being able to transmit this to other people that may be listening, that may be hurting, to know that there's so much more. Begin to wake up to this, and you'll feel that life is worth living.
Definitely. And also, it's like, the money, I later on, when I move forward with my awakening, it's okay. And how you use the money, and actually money is a great thing. You could help people with the money. It's, money is not evil. Money is good thing. And, having things, it's not bad. You could help, you could do good things. It's what you could do with. For example, it's like now when I work, my biggest goal was, since a childhood, I always dreamed about, it's like having a nursing home with attached to orphanage. So old people could get love from children, and children could learn from older people. Older people full of information, knowledge, and prime of their time with the knowledge and experience. And also children are very open to receiving and love, attention, care, and learning. They're like sponge, they get everything. And my dream was creating this nursing home with the orphanage. And if one day, if I become famous and influencer or something like that, if I start making so much money, being a light worker and being very spiritual person, and I don't believe hoarding money and stuff like that. My goal is putting my money, whatever I make extra, to charity and towards of that goal. It's like maybe just in case, you never know, if one day if I become really, really famous and make so much money, that's my goal. I want to build orphanages with the orphanage and nursing home together. That will be my charity. I will be spending all of my money. So there's always, if you have money coming, there's a gazillion way to, you could help people and you could do things, and money is not bad, and you should be not thinking that's a negative thing. It's like, because so many of us.
I don't want to interrupt you again, but we're kind of programmed to say that we shouldn't be successful. We shouldn't, when you become, quote, spiritual, it's like, oh, I don't need anything anymore.
It's like money is a bad thing. It's dirty. It's evil.
And I went through that. I went through that myself.
I did too.
And I see today that it's a gift that we've given ourselves. And if we can help people, by helping people, we need a little bit of money anyway.
All right.
So it's not what we would say, it is essential, because we're living in a 3D world and money is essential. So I've learned to accept that today.
I mean, we need money for everything. It's like to buy your food, put a shelter over your head, get an education, put a clothes on your back. And we need it, and then also we need to help others. And money is not something evil, and we shouldn't be like, for those awakening out there, and I don't know what stage are you at, but I remember the stage at I was about almost donate everything I had. It's like I was almost, like I was about to give everything, and I was about to move to, move in with the monks. I wanted
I
to be a monk.
totally can relate to that, Rose. And if we can help people to get maybe out of that mode, because it's okay to be successful. It's okay.
Right.
Because with success, you can help more people anyway.
Exactly.
So I understand that completely today.
Exactly.
I mean, you don't want to go crazy and you don't want to do bad things to receive the money. But as long as you're doing everything that's correct, it'll come to you anyway. It comes to you.
It's like, I think the part of the awakening is like step by step, and I paid attention to certain things. It's like sometimes people are not like, going to a certain level. It's like, because that was the part of my awakening. I lived that and I felt that, and that's why I know. And I know some people are still feeling that, and that's some of the rabbit holes. That's like the dark side of the awakening. It happens to a lot of people.
It's
a lot
like
of
you
us.
almost feel guilty about making something, being successful.
Right.
You're going, but hey, I'm spiritual. That includes
With
so
the
much.
spirituality, like people, like you feel like, oh, you should be like a monk, and you should
No.
not have anything. You should not have any nice furniture. You should live in the house with just the one,
Life is here to have
just
fun.
a plain bed, and that's what my, when I did my house, I was like, I'm just gonna have a bed, and I'm not gonna have any furniture. It's like, like we don't have to prove ourselves to anybody, and it's like the source knows our heart. That's all it matters, and it's like we don't have to go that far. And also, it's like that's a part of awakening, and it will then.
But
When
that
you
takes
move,
time also. We go through different phases with this
That's the
awakening.
phase one of the
And that
phase
is
of
the
the awakening.
beginning of phase one. I
Right.
completely agree with you, because you're saying all this is happening to me, and I feel guilt. Guilt
Right.
is very bad.
And then also one more thing, it's like from the dark side of the awakening, some people are stuck at, and I see it, toxic positivity. What is the toxic positivity? It's like, they're like, like, let's say you show up at the, yoga class, and the teacher saying like, oh, we don't want to hear about anything negative here. You're just going to be positive. Maybe you're falling apart inside, and you have to put on this fake smile. Everything is for humans, and it's like pushing too much and being scared from you don't want to hear, refusing anything negative. That's not right either, because we're supposed to have some negative, some positive. We cannot always be, it's like with the big smile on our face, and, but you fake it until you make it. That's the thing too. It's like you could fake it until you make it to be happy. You could try, but sometimes it's okay, to allow yourself and allow others to be human. We are all human. We don't always have the best day, and we don't want people to faking it. It's like, there's a limit. It's like if the person going through something really harsh, you don't expect that person to have a big smile on their face. If they're breaking down, we have to give them a hug, and we have to understand. We have to let it out. And because after letting it out, a good cry fixes a lot of things. It's like that's,
But don't you feel though that I mean, yes, all these things happen, absolutely, but you have somehow an inner strength. I have an inner strength. When things seem to be going bad on my day, I try not to focus too much on that, because again, I feel and know that something it's for a reason. Everything is for a reason,
Right.
Rose. So even if we're going through something, it could become karma from another lifetime. It could be something that we're meant to learn here. So we grow with every experience. We grow, good or bad. We grow from it, right?
Definitely. And it's like everything happens in our life, you know, it's like good or bad, we learn from it, and then we, you know, it's like a big experience. And, you know, it's like with the light workers, star seeds, and whoever, you know, anybody who's awakening out there, maybe they don't know they're star seeds and light workers. It's like, you know, it takes time to, you know, sometimes figure out and know who you are and, you know, what you're capable. But I know with the COVID happened for a reason. COVID, you know, wanted people to be home, isolated, because that's the big part of awakening. You know, it's like when you awaken, you spend a lot of time in solitude. You know, it's like isolated.
The more you can get into yourself, and if you're not out in that big world out there and you're sitting at home, yes, we can think of bad times, but at least we're moving forward somewhere. We're moving forward. I mean, it's a fine line, actually, but.
It's like what your predictions are for COVID. You know, it's like, don't you think it's like, you know, it is, I feel, and my predictions was from source. We had it so we could, you know, it was part of awakening. And because this new world starting,
Well,
and then because world shift, and it gave opportunity to people to, you know, it's when you're in the awakening process, what we do, we spend a lot of time at home.
if you can get it, my answers come through kind of a channeling. So if you can give me the question and let's see where we can go with the COVID. It's.
What your thoughts on COVID? Do you think that was from source?
Okay, I believe that COVID is something, again, I don't want any controversial comments over this, but this is just my belief, that it is, I hate to say man-made, but that's what I feel. If it's going to be to create growth in our lives, that we're going to have to be isolated, that we're going to have to sit at home, we have to see where we can go, other sources. Money is important, but maybe there's another way. So we had to kind of put ourselves on hold. That's what I'm hearing. Hold. Whether it was man-made or whether it wasn't, that's really not the issue. The issue is that we had to put some sort of hold on our life today. We're in a 3-dimension that's going into the 5th. Not everybody is going to make it into the 5th. It may not be our time, but we needed to take time out. We needed to take time out. And I think that's where I'm going to stop right now.
That's true. That's what I was saying, and thank you. You know, Sally goes into channeling. It's like when I ask something and, you know, she goes into channeling. So this answer comes from her spirit guides.
Yeah, it does.
And, you know, it's like, for future, you know, what's the prophecy for predictions?
Well, the world is changing. We're gradually going into a higher dimension. For those of you out there that might begin to be able to understand this, I'm still understanding it. So we have to change. Not everybody is going to, but the best way that I see it is what we've been talking about. Remain positive, see that we're having correction at this point in our lives here. And this correction is going to involve a lot of different things happening. But go through it. The fires right now, the heat right now, this is all a correction. We're using maybe too much of whatever they're talking about with the cars, and we need to take time out to stop and think, and then maybe we go internally, and then maybe we can correct it. I don't know, but we stand a better chance if we start to realize what's going on. Okay?
Yeah.
So.
Do you think it's like, you know, when we, you know, I always think, you know, because in the past, you know, it's like religions and, you know, people getting together, you know, like being groups, people praying together and, you know, has a bigger power.
Collectively,
collective.
Yes. We
and,
can.
Yeah, collective. And I think it's like collective, you know, we all together, if we could unite and we could put our focus together, I think we could make a huge difference.
Yeah, it's not always the way as I see it. I mean, we can do it on a smaller scale, but I believe nothing is recommended. We do it as we feel. But I think it helps for everybody to get together of a certain vibration, because if it's a different vibrational energy, again, it's not necessarily going to work, Rose. It has to be of a vibration that we're on. And that means lifting our consciousness a little bit. And if we can get together, yes, I do believe that we can change this. We can, but it takes work, and it's hard work, and we have to understand.
And it's going to take a while, right? Because it's building something new.
Yeah,
It's
again,
not
there
gonna
is no time, but if we can recognize it, that's what my belief is when we're in spirit, there's no time. But we have time here to organize our lives here. So yes, if we can all kind of put our vibrational energy out there to attract the people that are at our vibration, yes, we can change it. I do believe we can change it. Yeah.
It's like trying to make best from whatever the situation you're in, and trying to adjust and also change happening, and trying to see what's going on, and trying to adjust yourself with the changing times. That's all of us have to do, adjusting with the changing times. Yes, I used to lease my cars, and I used to do that every 3 years, 4 years, I used to lease it. And yesterday, I went and I purchased it because times are changing, and it's like, and then dealer said back in days, the factory price, the dealer used to negotiate and used to get a lower price. Now, it's like there's negotiation at the dealership, and everything is so expensive, and you cannot even get what you're asking for, and people are on waiting list. Times are different, and it's changed so much. It's like with changing times, we're doing different things. So it's like I used to lease and return my car and get a new one because I'm a female and I don't know to mechanical things. I didn't want to deal with the car breaking down. Every 3 years, I used to get a new car. I don't do that anymore. And yesterday, I purchased my lease car because it's going to be 3 years, and if I return it, and it's going to cost so much more to get the new one. It was way more expensive to lease it this time. It was almost like 60% more than what I was paying if I leased the same car now.
I love what you're saying because it's so real, and people can relate to this, Rose. And I'm getting such enjoyment hearing your stories, because people say, oh yes, that's right. But this all comes, I guess we have to have an open mind and to see what's happening. And you're so good at explaining your stories that people can relate to. It's beautiful.
It is life. I am adjusting. It's like with the changing times, we have to change. And, I changed my career. It's like the things happen in this year. I had to change my career. And I'm just looking what's going on. And I am just saying, it's like, what can I do? And that's, if we just resist. I used to have a best friend. She was a very stubborn lady. She was a photographer. Because if we don't change with times, I'm going to give you her story. She used to take these studio shots, boudoir shots, sexy pictures for couple, females used to go take, sexy pictures for their boyfriends and husbands. And she was doing good for a long period of time. But with this cell phones and this apps, people start taking, using filters, doing so much better and nice pictures just by themselves and editing them. And her business was going down. And I told her, I said, times are changing. Please, it's like, you're going to go out of business. It's like she was getting less and less and less clients. And I'm like, times are changing. You have the studio rent, you have an employee, and you got to do something. Maybe you got to hire somebody, you got to do weddings. She's like, nope, I'm not going to do weddings. It's like she didn't want to go out of the studio. I said, maybe you need to go out of the studio because just being in the studio, it's like she didn't listen. Eventually, she lost her store. And
Change. Sometimes we need that change.
she refused it, and she lost her business, and she was very stubborn, and she wasn't open to new ideas. It's like sometimes if we not open to adding, changing, and with the changing times, and because technology is amazing, it's like changing so fast, and it's causing some businesses or some jobs no longer be available anymore. It's like some jobs are being taken over by AI. So we have to, see if our job is in risk and what else we could do. It's like we always have to be alert, right? What you think?
Absolutely, yeah, no, absolutely. Because if we change, we don't grow. We need to grow, and this is what this is all about. That's why we've come into this incarnation, to grow, to learn.
Right.
But if we keep doing the same thing, and there's a saying, if you keep doing the same thing and you get the wrong results, I don't remember exactly how it goes, that's how it will go. So we need to make that little effort. Can it be scary? Can it be frightening? Yeah, it can. But sometimes we have to take that risk, Rose. We
Right.
have to take it.
It's like, you have like just trying, you have nothing to lose. And, it's like sometimes if you could lose your time and maybe little investments, sometimes we make, but for, if it turn out could be so much better, it's like don't freak to, because biggest losers are the ones you never take chance.
I think
Because
you need-
then you can't win nothing because you never took a chance.
Trust in your intuition, trust in yourself, trust that you're going to make the right decisions. I feel that I'm doing that, and things seem to be correcting themselves for me. I've done that for many years. Sometimes I think, oh my gosh, what am I doing? This is crazy. But there's a little voice inside of me saying, keep going, Sally. And I do. And I've had some amazing results. So.
You're amazing. You're amazing. She's an amazing friend. And, we had a video together. It's like we told our story. She is my soul sister, and I find her after many, many years, many lifetimes. And so far, we figured out we lived a lifetime together in Italy, and we lived a lifetime together in Turkey and Ottoman Empire times, because we have memories, going back to those times.
From the Renaissance, but we
Right.
have to work that one out, definitely
Right.
from the Renaissance
Right.
period.
And
It's fun.
Yeah,
It's
when
fun.
we met each other, it's like it was automatic. It's like automatically we knew each other. And then now sometimes she says something, it's like we just like exactly how two twins will do something. We are like that, and it's like she was telling me the other day she's going to hair salon on Thursday. I'm like, yeah, I am
Same
too.
thing.
It's like, same
Different
thing,
place,
same
but
thing,
yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
It's like we do same things
It's
without
fun.
knowing.
I know we're coming to the end of this interview, but I guess my message is it's fun. It's fun. Life is what you make it, and just be positive, be happy as best you can. I know it's not easy. It hasn't been easy for me, but that's my message, and I know that
It's
you
a
feel
great
the same.
message, yes. And also, my website right now, it's under construction. It's because this TV show happened, I wasn't prepared for it before my website. And now my website is they're trying to build under construction. It's not ready yet, and it's some generic information up there. It's like the person who's working on. Please don't take anything for seriously. It's like he had to leave it open so I could see it, tell him to change this, change that. So, and then also, if you want to get in touch with me about healing, light working, I do healing work. I learned from my grandmother. I am not calling that Reiki. I am not certified from any place, because I learned from source. I learned from my grandmother. I haven't, and also I am guided by spirit when I do healing. And I don't, I didn't go to school to get a certificate for it. But if you want to call me for healing, I do, doesn't have to be, person doesn't have to come to me, and I do it over the phone and over Zoom. The person doesn't have to be next to me. So because energy could go anywhere, you could be on the other side of the world and doesn't, I could do if somebody, especially with somebody with the illnesses, it's like the needs the energy work. You could get in touch with me. You could call the number you have. And please, sorry about my website. That's getting worked on, and don't take it seriously. When it's finished, it's going to be fabulous, but right now it's a mess. And I didn't tell them to turn it off because I like to see it so I could say, do this, do that. So I apologize for the way my website looks, because I'm only in this TV show thing for 8 weeks, and everything happened so fast, so quick. And, it's like I'm trying to catch up with, opening up Instagram account, Twitter account. What was the other thing you're on? Like the
Facebook?
Facebook I'm on. I'm on Facebook.
Instagram?
YouTube.
LinkedIn.
Oh, LinkedIn, I have to go on LinkedIn. It's like, I'm just new. It's just only 8 weeks. But
you're doing great. You're doing good.
I know.
Isn't
It's
she,
like, I
guys?
can't
She's doing
believe.
great.
It's like, they telling me my ratings. I'm like, really?
Don't be surprised. Don't be
I mean, like,
surprised.
the source.
That's
But
how it works.
I was called into this, it's like, I am saying, I'm surprised, but I'm not, because this was my calling. And, it's like source told me, my spirits told me I must do this, and that's why I'm doing. So this is a good example. It's when you follow what the source saying, what the spirit guides are saying, what will happen. And it's like the ratings are insane. It's like we had so much followers, like,
Well, I'm going to give you a round of applause.
Yeah, Facebook went up to, in 8 weeks, went up to 57,000 people. That was insane. I just, yeah. And then they telling me Roku and Amazon went up like 75,000 or something like that. That's like, mind blowing. And I'm like, wow. Thank you so much for everything and watching me and giving me a chance. And I'm here to serve. And I'm here to bring the light workers united together. Light workers, contact me and let's get together. Let's put our prayers, thoughts together and change this world for better. And let's rebuild. And now world's under construction. And, in this construction, we could use, and that's why we are here. We're going to use our thoughts and our collective consciousness and, our prayers all together. And we're going to build this golden age all together. And let's get together.
Beautiful. Namaste.
Yeah. Namaste. Thank you for watching, and see you next week.
Tune in next time to Spiritual Alchemist with Rose Lambert, where we talk about everything spiritual to guide you onto the right path. For more information, contact rosegalson@gmail.com or 786-747-9280. Shalom, everyone.